on Facebook and YouTube at the same time, which is really quite cool. So if you're over at Facebook, hello. If you're over on YouTube, hello again. So I hope that everyone is really well and good today. I'm so excited because we do have the new release today, and we have so many new fun holiday products and also stuff that you can use all year round as well. So hopefully we are working. The lovely Aurum will be behind both the badges on Facebook and over on YouTube as well. So hopefully she's going to be able to keep an eye on all of the comments, because it's a little bit more difficult for me to see them while I am on this little streaming platform. So I hope that everyone is good. I'm going to see if I can actually get both of the streams up so I can see the comments, because I think that's going to be helpful for me. So hi everyone, I can see you all on Facebook. So hi, it's Mara, and who else did I see? And Lynn and Cynthia. I hope that you're all good. Do we have a favourite from the new release? It would be nice to know if there are some favourites already. Hi there, Elizabeth, over on YouTube. So I'm going to try and keep switching and changing to both of them, so hopefully I don't miss any of the comments. Hi there, Sue. Oh, the kind reminders is amazing. So I will give that one a go as well, I think, today. So I am going to move you down, everyone. I've got all of the little things up on my screen that I think I'm going to need. So hopefully we should be good. Okay, so I'm going to transition you over to my tabletop so we can take a look at all of the new goodies. So this is the one that Sue just mentioned. This is the kind reminders. Hello everyone. I'm sorry if I do miss your names. The comments on both YouTube and Facebook are going past pretty quickly. Also, if you do share this live stream, you are in with a chance of winning a $15 gift certificate to the Altenew store, and I'm sure we'll pick one from both the Facebook and the YouTube as well. So hi everyone, it's nice to see lots of different faces on both of the different platforms. Okay, so this one is the kind reminders. We have 3 large floral images on here, as well as some really great sentiments. Now these have all got different fonts and different looks about them. This one that says "You are incredible" is a lovely bold one, and I do love how this one works out. So I do have the sample here that I created. So I've just used one of the flowers, just mirrored them, and then I used them with the colouring stencil. So as well as the stamp set, we do have the die set, which, you know, is kind of a must with these images. Some people don't like fussy cutting. I love a good bit of fussy cutting. So that's just me, but I do like having the spare time that I do have with the die cutting too. Then we have the colouring stencil, so I can show you how to use this one as well today. Then we have the positive vibes. I'll just move the stencil, sample evil over to the side. This one is positive vibes. So we have a beautiful stem image here of some florals, as well as layers that go within here, and then lots of beautiful sentiments. So this one is going to have 2 layers for the leaves, 2 layers for the flowers. So it's a really easy one to pop together, but you can still create really gorgeous looks. And if you can see on the die, this is the kind of layering that you are actually going to get with the stamp set, which is really quite cool. So that's the die set there. This one is Autumn Bounty, and I know a lot of you do love this one. This large pumpkin seems to have been a hit this time. So we have this beautiful pumpkin with the florals, a leafy frame, as well as lots of like autumn and fall sentiments that you can pop within the frame to create a really classy card that way. Okay, hi everyone over on Facebook and YouTube today. Okay, so that one's Autumn Bounty. We do have the the die set available, so that's going to cut around the pumpkin. Also, it's going to cut around that leafy frame, and then we have a separate piece. So if you wanted to keep it attached, you don't have to use this bit, but if you want to cut out that frame part in the center, you can definitely cut that out quite easily there. Hi everyone, I hope that you're all good. Next up we have grape leaves. This is a really fun one. So we have 3 different leaves in here, but all in different ways. So we have the outline, we have the veins, and also a solid image for each of the 3. So that means you can really play around with how these look. To go with that as well, we have the die set, and in here we have like some really thicker veiny outlines, which is really cool. So you can definitely play with these on their own as well. So you could just layer them up. You don't necessarily need to do any stamping if you do have the die set. So that is the Grape Leaves die set. We also have the mask stencil. So that's what I used to create this one. I just used the stencil part to quickly blend some colour into those leaves, and I do think that looks pretty cool. Who says that leaves can't be pink and teal? No one. Okay. Then we have the Seasons Tweetings. Now this one is so very cute. I will be sharing this one today because this is one of my favourites from the release. So in here we have 2 cardinals, as well as a branch, a banner, and some really great sentiments. So when you see this one, it doesn't really make sense as the stamp itself, but once you see all of the samples that was created with this, it is really quite inspiring. And I reckon if you leave like the face mask, that's what I'm going to call this bit, the black bit on the bird, if you leave that off, I reckon you could change these birds into a lot of things like cockatiels or anything like that. So that one's the Seasons Tweetings. So we do have the die set for that, which is going to cut out the 2 birds, the banner, the little berries, and the branch, as well as the mask stencil too. So next up we have holiday tag sentiments. So this is last in the 6x8s, but it is a big release, this one. So in this one we have lots of sentiments, which is, you know, directed towards holiday tags, but these could be used anytime really. So like from our home to yours, you could definitely use that without having it to be holiday, baked with love, a gift for you, just for you, as well as lots of holiday focused sentiments on that one too. We do have a die set that goes with it, so you can have the tag as well as these little pieces here, which can add different effects to the tag shape there. So that is all of the 6x8s. I'm sorry if I am missing the comments, but I do know that you're there, and I'm really thankful that you are. And thank you, Aurum, for being such a star and popping the links into both YouTube and also Facebook at the same time. She is a star. Okay, next up we have the holiday flower. So this one's a really cute one. Mine is pretty, it's pretty well loved at the minute, so I am sorry. We have 3 poinsettias with some leaves on this one, as well as some really great, I think this is kind of a modern font, modern retro, should we call this one. And we have some great samples on the blog using this one. So that one's holiday flower. We do have the die set as well to coordinate with the floral. Then we have the Festive floral frame. If you like alliteration, you may like this one. So we have a large frame, as well as little clusters in 2 of the corners of poinsettias and roses and some little mistletoe, as well as some sentiments there as well. So that one is the Festive floral frame, and I've just quickly used that one there. Then we have the Warm Blessings stamp set. So in this one we have lots of different sentiments which revolve around the holidays, as well as a holly leaf and some berries. Now if you like the fancy greetings and also the crafty greetings, this may be one to add to your stash because it's on the same lines, it uses the same font and the flourishes on the words there. Okay, sorry, that might be Aurum. Okay. Now we have the Merry Reindeer. This is a very cute cartoon reindeer. So it's holding a little scroll or a little sign down here, which is blank, but you can definitely pop in all of these little sentiments into here, and you can use other sentiments as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be from this set, because the Joy to the World from the Warm Blessings would definitely fit in there to add a little bit of class to his little banner that he has. So as well as the stamp set, we do have the die set. The die set is going to cut around him, and it does have a little hole here between his antlers. So this is a really great one just to use as a tag onto your holiday projects. Okay. Next up, we have the Poinsettia 3D die set. This one has 4 petal clusters as well as a center. If you do like a little bit of leaf or greenery, I would recommend adding another cut of one of these larger ones and then adding some leaves in. I'm going to show you how to do that later on as well. Last but not least in the dies is the fancy piece. So this works perfectly with the Warm Blessings. So you can see that's going to really cut a really beautiful looking peace sentiment there. So I've just added it on there. Okay. Last but not least, the lovely Orm is giving me some comments that I may have missed. Oh yeah, thank you, Orm. So if I do miss a comment, the lovely Orm is there to let me know that I've missed something. So this is the beautiful Beginner embossing folder. Now, these are no ordinary embossing folder. These are 3D embossing folders. So as you can see, they kind of look like normal embossing folders, but if I move them around a little, you can see that there's various depths within the images. So all you're going to need to do is pop your piece of cardstock within it, run it through your die cut machine in the manufacturer's instructions for just a normal embossing folder, and you are going to be able to create this depth and dimension on your cards. So this is the embossed side, and you can also turn this one over and use the deboss side if you wanted to. So you can really play around with this. As is 6x6, you can pop your A2 panel in this way, and you can also do a portrait as well as landscape cards, which is pretty cool. So that one is the Begonia. So there's my little sample. That's the beautiful Begonia. Then we have the Flowers and Leaves. I did have one that I'd embossed with this, but it seems I've lost it. I've misplaced it. I am sorry. Okay, there we go. Found it. So this one's the Flowers and Leaves, and you can see just how pretty this one is. This one matches with the Dainty Blooms cover die, I believe. So you can use that again, both sides, to create that beautiful depth and dimension there. And here it's just been inked, and I can show you how to do that later on too. Okay, next up, last but not least, is the Mega Hello. Now this is a debossing folder. Reason being, you can't use words the wrong way. So this one is going to go directly into your cardstock, and it's going to kind of make it look like it has been letterpressed. You can also ink these up if you're really careful, and I would recommend that you use a pigment ink to do so. And if you do ink it up, make sure that you don't get any around here, because it will transfer onto your cardstock. So you may need like a baby wipe on hand to get rid of any of that excess ink. I used the metallic watercolors just to add in that sentiment there. Okay, everyone, I've got through it all. My throat is a little tickly, so I am sorry about that, everyone. I'm going to first go into one of the embossing folders. Okay, so I'm going to grab one of these that I've already embossed. So all I did was I popped that into my folder, which was the beautiful Beginner, and ran it through my die cut machine without one of the plates. So one of the plates I had to get rid of so that the embossing folder would go through. I wouldn't recommend forcing it through your embossing folder. Just play around with it, and then you may be able to get it that way. Okay, so everyone is really excited for the embossing folders. So are we. We're really excited about these, especially that they're 3D. So I have my little panel here, and I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending on it. Now, You will need to be quite careful when ink blending onto this because you don't want to push that embossing down. But what you can do is after you've done it, you can just replace it into your folder and it will kind of click in, okay? So if you get it into place, if you move it around a little bit, it's kind of like when you've die cut a die and it hasn't cut properly. You can feel that there is a bit of resistance there, so you can definitely pop that back down and run that through, and that's gonna pop it back up if you have pressed a little bit too hard. Okay, there we go. So I'm gonna go with some of my favorites, which are the tealy colors. So I have the Galactic Stream. I'm gonna do a bit of ombre. I was thinking I might be able to cut this down so I can create 2 cards out of it. Okay. Okay. So hi there everyone. I hope that you're all good, that you're having a good day, and that you do like the new release. Please tell me what your favorite things are, and if you are as excited about the embossing folders and you do want more, that would be great to know. And what kind of things would you like on embossing folders? Especially 3D embossing folders too. Okay, I'm then going to go into my lagoon and I'm going to go over that colour that I've already got down. And I'm going to go slightly more into it. So I'm going just over halfway with this colour. If you're really, really gentle with this, you can just get the flowers and not the background, but I'm a little bit heavy-handed. And then we're going to go with the volcano lake. Straight again over that, and that's going to give you a better blend if you go over all of the colours. Okay. I may add some more ink further down along the line, but I think we should be okay. So we have our ombre little blended panel there. I am going to cut this so we can move those over to the side with my little blending tool, which is amazing. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it on, and it's going to be about there. So I'm just putting a little nick in the panel so I can cut it. You could always use a pencil if you feel that's more for you. There we go. But how cute is that now? Okay. Move those over to the side. To stick this down, I would recommend using some wet glue because you're going to want it to stick kind of fast, especially because not all of this cardstock is going to be touching your card base. So a little bit of wet glue is going to help that stick better. I'm sorry everyone. Okay, so I'm going to stick that down. Okay. I just have a few things that I found out on my scrap box that I thought may work just to add on to here. So I've got one of the die cuts from the Spring Roses. I've just cut that out with some white cardstock, so it's just the Solar White. I'm going to pop that down. And then I have a sentiment from the Label Love stamp set. So this was all in my little scrap box. It's always great to have things that are a little bit over, because then you've got things to help you make a quick card later on. So that one is the Beautiful Beginner. Okay, next on my list I had the Seasons Tweetings, because it's just ever so cute. And I'm trying to find it again now in this pile of gorgeousness. There he is, I can see them. So I'm just going to be stamping this bird here. The both birds kind of stamp in near enough the same way. So if I just do one, I think would be good with that. I already got a piece of cardstock here that I was going to use. Oh, no, I'll use that later on. I'll just get another one. So yeah, I have all these things prepped, and then I still lose things. So I've got my little bird that looks like he's more of a, got a better posture than the other one. So for this one, I'm going to use crimson. You do have the layering guide on the back, so I can just pop that over so we can see. And I'm going to be using crimson for his little, for his little body. So this one, instead of layering, it's kind of more like a jigsaw. So we're going to pop that piece down. And then we have his wing. All of the pieces for the birds are close together on the stamp set. I'm going to use velvet. For his wing. And that's just going to kind of nestle into all those little troughs and valleys that we had going on here. I didn't get it quite, but I think, yeah, that can just be a little bit of a highlight, correct? Then I'm going to add his little beak on. You can tell I've stamped this one a couple of times because mine's a little bit, my stamp says a little bit well loved. So I'm just going to pop that into his little beak place. Then we're going to pop his face mask on. Now I believe there must be a different word for this, but I think it looks like a face mask, so that's what I'm going with. I'm going to go with obsidian like that. Okay, so I'm going to use that for his little face mask, but I think if you didn't put this on, he could be any bird. Just give him a little haircut. That's just going to go around his little beak and around the eye area. That's still not stamped. Then we have his eye. Into that little white bit. Look how cute he is. I do love how cute this little bird is. Right, now I want to die cut this. And if I was to stamp his little legs on now, I've got a feeling that I'm not going to stamp them in the right place. So I'm going to leave that for the little minute. And I also want a branch for him to sit on. So I'm going to stamp that, and I have some grey denim. I don't really use this colour ink, but it is very pretty, so I got that one out today. Ink that up and stamp that down. Okay, so I have my branch, my little bird with no legs at the minute, but he will have some. Okay. Just trying to find my dies now. I normally pop everything I'm going to use to the side, but I really didn't today. I don't know why. I'm going to use my little mini blossom. So that just means I need to cut my pieces down before I run them through, because the opening on the mini blossom is 3 inches. So anything under that is grand, you're good to go. But anything over that is not actually going to fit on the plates. But I have to say, I use my mini blossom for probably 90% of my die cutting. So it's a handy tool to have. I'm just using some washi tape, some really old washi tape. I think it may be a little bit too sticky for what I need, but we'll be okay. So he hasn't got his legs on at the minute. I'm just going around the outside, grabbing my mini blossom. So these plates are so thick they don't warp. I know that they are a mess, but they still work, so that's great. Pop the top on and roll that through. Also, because it's so small, you don't have to do as much cranking. Oh, Pauline, you're gonna love the mini blossom. It's awesome. I love my little mini blossom. And he's not that heavy, so he lives on my pegboard off to the side. So he's right next to my desk. so I have my branch, my little bird with no legs, but we can rectify that now. Okay. Oh, Sue, yeah, the embossing folders are amazing, and if you wanted to just leave them white on white, they're still really pretty, but adding a little bit of blending onto them really does make them pop, I think. So I'm happy now to pop his little legs on because I know exactly where they're going to go and they're not going to get cut off. I'm going to pop them on, and there he is. Okay, he's complete now. Okay, so my idea was for this one was kind of from the inspiration guide that you get with the stamp set. So I'm going to pop him on here, but I have a navy piece of cardstock and the die cut edges are white, but there is a way around that. Let's not worry too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do it for the bird. I don't mind having the white edge around the branch. It kind of looks like snow. So I'm going to grab my Desert Night, and you can just go around the edge of your little die cut. I'm trying to be quick. That's why I'm sorry if I go over him. Gone quiet. Sorry, everyone. Okay. Around his little feet. The landlocked area. Just around his tummy. Oops. Okay. So if you have the time at home as well, maybe go around the branch, but I'm going to leave the branch. But you can see that he sits a lot happier on there with a little bit of dark around him. To act as snow, I'm going to add some white, pure white spray ink, but I want to add my sentiment onto this first. I'm just going to take one from the holiday tag sentiments, and we're going to emboss it over in this corner, so a little bit of anti-static powder, which is baby. Thank you, Sue. I'm never quiet. Okay, I'm going to take my embossing ink. My baby powder smells really good. It smells nice and clean. Pop that down. Pure white embossing powder. This stuff lasts forever because it only sticks where it's needed to, which is fabulous. And you can pop all that back into your pot and use it again. So don't worry about putting too much on. It'll only stick where it's needed. There's that. I just need that to cool a little bit before we keep going. I always touch it too quickly. Okay, I think we're good. All you're going to need is like a microfiber cloth to get rid of all that talc. My way around not getting the spray onto my sentiment is to use exactly the same sentiment that you stamped. So it's this one. And just pop it back into place over the top. That means when you do your spray, it's not going to go over that sentiment and make it unreadable. So if you're scared about splatter covering your sentiment, just cover your sentiment up. And I find that using the sentiment stamp works really well because it's exactly the size it needs to be. Okay, a little bit of pure white spray ink. Remove that. If you get any on there, all you need to do is wipe it off and you're good to go. Pop it back into place on your stamp set. Okay, so I did have some big splodges on there, a little bit bigger than I would have liked. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give that a quick blast with the heat tool. If it's warping, you may need to go from behind as well. I think that's going to take a while to dry, so I'm just going to try and work with it while it's wet, and hopefully I don't smudge it. Yep. Okay, so I've got my branch. Put that into place. Bit of glue tape on there. Put the branch down. Foam tape. I always surprise myself that I don't fall off my chair when I go to grab my foam tape. So if you do hear a bang, that's what it was. And then we can pop them into place. Oh, we might cover some of those splodges that were a bit too large for my liking. But there we go. All you need to do is chop that off. And then you can pop that onto your card. Okay, move that now. What was next on my list for today? So I have my little holiday flower, and I stamped this with the permanent black. And I wanted to show you that you don't necessarily have to colour these properly. Okay, the lovely Aga came up with a really cool technique of using markers to get a watercolour look. So I'm using the marker set A, and I'm just going to use the frayed leaf, and I'm just going to add a lot of that ink into the centre of those flowers there. So that's going to give me my centre. If you have a yellow, you could use a yellow. I just wanted to use one set of markers to see that you can actually use these just as is. I'm then going to take my lighter marker, which is the frosty pink, and again I'm splodging that ink down. So instead of flicking or doing anything like that, I'm just getting that ink down, just squidging it in. You can see just how juicy these markers are. Okay, I'm trying to get it kind of like a messy watercolor look, so I'm not worrying too much about getting it perfect. Okay. So there's the frosty pink. I'm then going to take the coral berry, and I'm just going to spotch that down. And because we've already got that a lot of ink down there already with the frosty pink, this is just going to like bleed out like watercolors would, which is really cool. So I'm adding these to the darker bits. And you can see that it doesn't take a lot of work. And then we can do the same for the leaves. So that's going to give you a watercolor look without actually using watercolors. And you can see that it's quite quick as well. It doesn't take a whole long time. I know that sometimes colouring with artist markers or alcohol markers, it can take a fair while because you know you need to get your strokes in the right position and things like that. But this way, it's just like throwing that colour down and it'll kind of do it on its own. So I'm going to add a couple of these dots. If you feel that it's not moving as much as you want it to, you can go back to the lighter colour, which I will with the leaves. Okay, so just going back over that again, smudging it on. There we go. Quick and as easy as that to create a watercolour look with your markers. Okay, so that's the third idea that I had for today. Hopefully I'm not going too quick for everyone. I know I do get a bit carried away. Okay, so that is that one. I then have the Poinsettia 3D die set all cut out. So there are 4 pieces as well as the centerpiece. I've just cut this piece twice because I did want to add the leaves and I wanted to show you how I add my leaves. So I've just cut them out of white, so you don't necessarily need coloured cardstock. And I'm going to go with some pink pearls. This is going to be a nice, very light, pinky poinsettia or poinsettia. I'm just using the blending tools from Altenew. And as you can see, when I cut these out, it added all these score lines in here to create those beautiful petals in one go. It's really cool. Okay, so this one is the pink pearl. I'm just adding that. You can see how quick and easy it is. And then the last little one. Okay. I'm then going to take a green, and I have my green blender, I believe. I may just not have green ink. Lydia, that was not good. So hopefully there's enough residue on this to add a bit of green. Yay! That works. So that's been left for a while as well. So I have my pieces all ready now, apart from this little one. Let's go with a bit of green. That's the center. There we go. And I'm going to pop, you can either stick these on nice and flat. I am going to use a little bit of foam tape just to pop them up a little bit. You're not going to need a lot. I think I might need to put a larger piece on that one, but we'll see. So I'm going to go with this one, and it doesn't matter how you attach these together as long as you go like kind of largest to smallest. Oops. And you can curl these petals quite easily with your fingernails too, so they all pop up. Okay, well, I'm so glad that you guys are loving the embossing folders. It's really cool. We thought you would. I'm going to add a little bit of wet glue to this one because it's just a tiny wee little piece there. Oops, that way. And then my center. Oops. Always butter side down, right? Okay. So just how pretty is that? Now, the leaves. I could definitely just add these in as they are and kind of turn them around so they're just popping out. But I want to elongate them, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop them. Add a little bit of glue to those pieces. That means I can place my leaves further down. Just as long as they're covered by those petals, you're not going to know that you've chopped them. Oh, there we go, there we go. Okay, so there is the little poinsettia as well. It is such a pretty, pretty flower, and I think in these really light tones, it's really good. Okay, so there is the poinsettia. That one needs a little bit more time to dry, but you can definitely just pop that. Maybe adding that onto the top of a parcel would be quite cute. there is my poinsettia. Okay, on my list of things to do. I don't know where I've popped it. I think I'm working on it. Okay, and then I wanted to quickly show you as well the beautiful kind reminders, because you know it's got that colouring stencil which makes colouring a breeze. So I'm not going to use the dies. I'm just going to choose one of these images. I'm just going to go for this one. I need a bigger block. This is a 6x6 block, so you can see just how large this image is. My obsidian ink. You can see that everything's kind of closing in on me now. I think that happens to everyone. We just get too involved and your workspace gets smaller and smaller, even if your desk was clear to start with. Stamp that down. There we go. Now, I'm just going to quickly heat set that. Because we know that, you know, pigment ink takes a little bit longer to dry. So, I think that needs to be flipped over. There we go. And this is going to colour that whole area there. Now I would recommend masking the edges off and these pieces while you are working in the centre, but I haven't got time today, so I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to use those pretty coral colours from before. So this one's the pink pearl. Just going to hold this in place and add some colour to my flower there. Okay. See how quick that was? Oh, it's just magic. I love how magic this is. Then we have the second layer. So again, I can pop this into position. Yeah, my workspace is getting too small now for me to actually work. Right, there we go. It's in around about the right place. Then I'm going to use the Coral Bliss. Okay. Quick as a flash, you have your image coloured. Now I'm just going to do one of the sets of leaves, and remember I don't have my greens, so maybe we have some blue leaves. Okay, so I'm going to go with Lagoon first. This may be a weird looking flower, but never mind. So I'll just do one of them here. Again, I would recommend blanking out anywhere that you don't want to get. But there we go, there's Lagoon. Oh, it looks okay. It doesn't look as bad as I thought it was gonna. And then the second layer, you can see just how easy they fit in. There we go. And then Galactic Stream for this one. One of my favorite navies. Okay. Oh, oops-a-daisy. I should have masked it off. That'll teach me. I won't do that again. But you can see just how quick and easy. Just 2 colours for the flower and 2 colours for the leaves is what this is going to require. You could always as well just use one. Use a really light shade for the first layer and then add a lot more ink for the second layer, and that would give you the look, this kind of look as well. So that is what we have done today. We've done a bit of blending with the simple colouring stencils. We've done some watercolouring with artist markers, even though it's not real watercolouring, it's just quick colouring. We've also popped together our little poinsettia. We have done a little with the 3D embossing folders with the ink blending, and we've also popped together a little card with that cardinal as well. So we have been up to a little bit today. we got quite a lot done. I didn't use everything like I normally do. I am sorry everyone, but hopefully you have seen enough and you have enjoyed today's session. So hello there everyone. Thank you so much for joining me everyone. Everyone over on Facebook and YouTube, it's been a pleasure to have you with me this evening or afternoon or evening or morning, wherever you are. We really do hope that you enjoyed this and that you like the release as well and that you've seen something that makes you want to create something beautiful. Thank you to the lovely Aurum for popping in the comments when I did miss things, and also all of the links onto both Facebook and YouTube. Again everyone, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you again really, really soon. Have a great day. Bye bye.